Hello everyone and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the MyZone Online School. My name is Maricel Stoffberg and today we have an exciting lineup of teachers and lessons ready for you. But before we start, first let's sanitize our hands. Make sure to rub the sanitizer everywhere and the silly thumbs. Also remember that our theme for this week is to wash your hands. So when you wash them, which is very important, make sure that you wash them for at least 20 seconds. So sing happy birthday to yourself twice, because somewhere it's someone's birthday. It can even be your birthday. And it will make you feel better and also ensure you're washing your hands long enough. But let's stop babbling and let's go over to our lessons. So pre-primary and grade 1, week 3, lesson 2.
Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1. Prepositions and directions.
Welcome to MyZone Online School. My name is Teacher Khwakus and I'm joined by my friend. This week's theme is the 5 senses. But before we start, let's sanitize our hands. It is important to sanitize our hands because we're going to kill all the germs. But if you do not have a sanitizer at home, please use water and soap. Now on today's lesson. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. 1 for the master, 1 for the dame, 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Oh, wonderful, you guessed it correct. Today's lesson is all about number 3 and counting. Now we're going to practice writing our number 3, and you can use the little rhyme to help you. Around the tree, around the tree. That's the way we make a 3. Now teacher's going to do it on the board to show you how to go about this. We start at the top. We go around the tree so that the tree can grow, and then we come out, and then we go around this tree for number 3. And I am going to ask our friend to come and help us write the number 3 on the board. Can you just take a chalk and try and write a number 3 for us? Well done, I can see it's coming. Thank you so much, excellent number 3. And now we're going to go to page 9 to do the exercise on there. Are you on page 9? Let's see, what do we have? We have got number 3. So you start at the arrow, you go in, and then you come out again and go around. And look at that, so beautiful. We have got dots there. How many dots do we have? How many dots can we see? Can we count? Oh yes, I can hear that. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wonderful. My friend, can you tell us how many apples do we have on that page? 3 apples. Okay, now we can get our pens ready and trace over the first number 3. At the bottom, it is nicely set out for us. Start at the top and go inside the box. Don't go out of the lines, keep inside the box. And I'm going to leave the rest of the boxes so that you can do the exercise all by yourself. Well done. I hope you have enjoyed exercising number 3 on the previous page. Now we move on to page 10. Oh, wonderful! What can you see? There is a number. Oh, quite big and bold. It's number 3 again. But then it made easy for you. Can you see next to the number 3? You have to now trace the number 3. So look at that. Remember to start at the top, go around, in and out again, so that you can finish that line. Now look at this. This is so beautiful. The 3 bears. Oh, wonderful. But how many are they? Let's count the 3 bears. 1, 2, 3. And we write the number in the open space. And wonderful, I can see those 3s are coming up. Look at the bowls now. Can you help me to count the bowls? 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. Now we write the number in the open box. Oh, beautiful beds, nicely colored. You must remember to color it in different colors of your choice. 1, 2, 3, and then we write the number underneath. Wonderful, you're doing a great job. Now we're going to do a different exercise and we're going to complete the pattern. You're going to look at the 3 dots and the number 3. What do you think comes next? Oh yes. But look at it, what is first? So we have to repeat it. That means we have to do the same thing over and over until we complete it. So let's do the 3 dots. Oh yes, and the number 3 again. I want you to do the last block all by yourself. That is awesome. Wonderful. Okay. Let's do the counting now. We have got a number missing there, but if you help me to count, we will find out what number is missing. Let's start from number 0. Very important because number 0 is a placeholder. We need to include number 0 in our counting. Let's start. 0, we put our hands behind because it means nothing. And then we're going to start with 1, 2. I can see what number is missing. Number 3 is missing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. You helped me. I can see you are ready to learn. I hope you have fun. Now we're going to turn to page 11. Wow, I like these pictures. This exercise says we have to circle the correct number. If you look at the pictures there is a number in front of every row. So look at the first row. We're going to do only the first 2 rows so that we know what to do for the rest of the page. So we have got how many gloves there? I like the patterns on the gloves. 1, 2, 3. You are correct. But what number do we have? Oh, number 1. Yes. Now how many gloves must we circle? Can my friend help us? How many gloves must we circle? 1 glove. Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's correct. Can we now move on to the next column? We have got hats. We have got a hat for number 3, and they've got feathers on them as well. So we're going to count the hats and we're going to circle the amount showing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You are correct. So that means we need to circle all 3 hats. Well done! I am so happy to see how hard you're working. Now, let's move on to page 12. It's a little bit the same, but you need to now count and write the number instead, not circle. So let's look carefully and count very, very carefully. Let's look at the 4 bears there at the first column. Let's count them slowly, touch each of them and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. You are right. Wonderful. Now we write the number 4 in the box. Wonderful. Now, in the next column, let's look at the monkeys. How many monkeys can we see? Wonderful. 1, 2. Yes, you are correct. It's 2. Can you kindly write the number inside the box? Wonderful. You are working very hard. I hope you are enjoying this exercise. Please do the rest of the exercise all by yourself. I know you can do it. Hope you have enjoyed this lesson like we did. But before we go, let's sanitize our hands. It is very, very important to do so to kill all the germs. If you don't have a sanitizer at home, please use soap and water. Oh, Zosie, let's say goodbye. You here? Bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Josie and I am Peg. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
And that was Teacher Lindina teaching us all about numbers and counting. That was such a fun lesson. I just want to count the entire day. But there's not time to count the entire day because now we have week 3, lesson 2 for our grade 2 and 3 learners.
Welcome to my Stone Online School. My name is Ms. Guriras and welcome my friend here. This week's theme is culture and cultural events. First of all, we are going to start sanitizing our hands before we can start with today's lesson. Sanitize them thoroughly to keep all the tiny germs away. Great. Today's lesson will be about geometry, money, and ordering numbers. Okay, let us quickly turn to page 8, grade 2 level geometry. Now, before we start, I will have to explain to you what 2D shapes are. 2D shapes are the shapes that has a plane surface. It means simply it cannot stand. When you try to put it, it will fall on either side. Okay. Now, for example, if we have the Namibian flag there, we have different shapes, names of shapes. We have a triangle, we have a circle, we have a rectangle, oval, square, and all of those ones are 2D shapes. It simply means when you put them down, they will fall on either side. They won't be able to stand on their own. So we also have to look at the names as well as the sides and the corners of each one of those shapes that we have. For example, the first one we have a rectangular shape, which means two sides are equal. Whenever we have to look on the shapes of the 2Ds, we also look on the length as well as the width of the shapes. The first picture there, we have the Namibian flag, which is actually a rectangular shape. All right. If we have to count the sides, we have to number all the sides that we see by putting a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. So we know the rectangular shape is made out of 4 sides. All right. Now, how about the corners? The corners we can look at by the matching of the two lines, the one that is going down and the one that is going across. The vertical line that goes down from top to bottom and the horizontal line that goes from left to right. So how many corners, and the corners actually form where the two lines are meeting. So how many corners can you see there? We can count also the corners, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in other words, the rectangular has 4 sides as well as the 4 corners. Now let's quickly look on the next one, which is a watch. We all know what a watch is. We are wearing it on our wrist to tell time. All right, it's very important. It's a round shape. Do you think this shape has the sides? I don't think so. Do you think it should also have corners? Do we have any lines matching? No. So which means a circle doesn't neither have corners or the sides. All right. So I would like for you to name all the shapes. Under each shape, there is a space provided for you to write the shapes, the names of the shapes, as well as how many sides each one has and how many corners each one has. Now I would like for you to turn to page 3. It's still grade 2 level, okay? But for now here, you have to name for me the corners as well as the sides. For example, the first one is a triangle. The triangle has 3 sides. So you can see the 3 is there for the corners as well as the 3 sides. So like I've explained to you on the previous page, you have to count the corners of a circle if it has. Then you indicate for me with a number how many corners a circle has as well as how many sides a circle has. And then we move over to the rectangle. You also do the same as for the triangle. You count the sides as well as the corners, and then you indicate it in the boxes provided for you. Same also for the squares as well. All of these ones are called the 2D shapes. Let's move on to page 3. Now this is grade 3 level, geometry as well. Page 10, pardon me, page 10, grade 3, geometry. Now here we have different kinds of shapes. We have a pentagon, we have an octagon, and then we have a star. First of all, we need to count all the sides of the pentagon. How many sides does it have? The vertical lines are actually the ones that you can divide in the middle. It means the line that you draw in the middle of the shape, and both of the sides should have equal parts if you have to divide it in half. All right. If one side, the other side should look exactly the same as the other one. That line there, we call it the vertical line. And then we have to count the angles. Now, what is an angle actually? An angle is where the two lines are meeting. And the opening there between the two lines. Can you see there the pentagon? Where the two lines are meeting? The corners there? Yes, the corners are the ones outside. But the angles are the opposite of the corners inside. The opening space there are called the angles. So how many angles does a pentagon have? We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles. So we write the 5 inside there. Now, let me quickly explain to you what a right angle is. All right. Right angle is when the two, okay, let me just quickly show you on the chalkboard what a right angle looks like. For example, if we have two lines, here's a line and here goes another line. And we say the opening inside of the two lines is called the angles, all right? And the corner here is outside. It's opposite of the angle. Now, how about a right angle? When we are referring to the right angle, this line that goes here should go straight up. It should form, okay, let me just quickly draw here. The line that goes straight down and straight to the right. It has to be two straight lines, one coming down vertically and one goes horizontally. And here at the corner, it shouldn't actually form a half circle. It should form a square. That is called the right angle. When two lines are merging, the one that goes straight down and the one that goes straight to your left, the horizontal one. And here at the corner or here at the circle inside, it should form a square and not a circle, half circle. Whenever you see the circle inside of the two lines, this one is called the right angle. So let's quickly go back to our pentagon. Now, can you see the two lines matching? But does it form a right angle? I don't think so, because the other line goes a little bit curved outwards and it shouldn't actually form a right angle. It should be the straight line in order for us to indicate whether it's the right angle. Yeah. So, but now we can see it doesn't have any right angles there. So we can just indicate there how many right angles we have. Let's quickly look at the next shape, pardon me. It's an octagon. Octagon has how many sides? So you just indicate quickly the sides that you see, and then we move over to the vertical lines. If you divide an octagon into two halves, how many lines will you have? Remember, whenever we have to divide the octagon or any shape with lines, either sides should be equal to one another, okay? Then we have the angles. Angles is quite easy. It's the opposite of the corners. You just match it inside and then you count all the angles there. If you have to draw a line inside of the octagon, will it be able to form a right angle? And how many right angles do you think after you have drawn a line inside? Then you need to indicate also there how many of the right angles we have. The last one is the star. We have to count the sides. The vertical lines is a 0 because we cannot divide it into 2. And then we have to count the angles. Remember, the angles and the corners are same. It should be the same. And then we have the right angles. Remember, if you have to write the line or draw the line inside of a circle, will it be able to form a right angle? You have to practice this as well. So the right angles in the star are 5. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed your previous lesson about the shapes. Now we have to turn to page 11, grade 2 level, measuring of money. We all like money, don't we? All right, so we have our Namibian coins on the chalkboard here. The smallest coin we have, it's a 5 cent and it's silver in color. We have a 10 cent, which is the second smallest one. We have a 50 cent and we have $1 and we have $5 as well as a 10 Namibian coin. But this one can also be in the notes. All right. And these are all the coins, the only coins we have in here in Namibia. All right. So here on the worksheet, you can see you have a $5, 10 cent and a 50 cent. So if we have to put all these 3 coins together, how much money do you think you will have? So you need to count, all right? So we have a $5, a 50 cent, and the 10 cent. What you need to do first is to put all the cents together. So if you're having a 50 and then you add another 10 to the 50, what amount are you going to have? Yes, that's correct. You are going to have a 60, which is going to be 60 cents, okay? Now we have to add the 60 cents to the $5. So at the end of the day, how much money are you going to have all together? You are going to have a $5 and a 60 cents all together. So we have to write, and this is how we write our dollar sign, with a capital letter N and the S and the line through the S. That is how we write our dollar sign. And this dollar sign comes first before you can actually write the amount of the money next to it. All right? Let's quickly look on the next one. Now you have $5, okay? And a 10 cent. What do? Whenever you see a 5, you can also or always count in 5s, all right? So it's a 5, 10, and a 15. So it means you have a 15, but not just in any 15 number, you have a 15 Namibian dollar. You can also write that 15 Namibian dollar first. And then do you have any cents? Yes, you have a cent there. How many cents do we have? You only have 1 cent, which is equals to 10 cents. So how much money do you have all together there? You have $15 Namibian dollar, don't forget, and 10 cents only. Now the third one, I would like for you to do the third one on your own. And remember, when you are dealing with money, ask for mommy and daddy to give you some coins to play with, all right? Okay, now let's quickly look at the column there at the bottom about describing the notes. So we displayed some coins on the chalkboard, and we also have some notes that we use in Namibia. We have a $10 note, a $20 note, and a $50 note. When we are referring to the notes, we talk about the paper money, you know, the ones that makes noise. Yes, the paper money. Okay, now what do you think is the color of the $10? Okay, that one you need to ask for your mommy as well. And when you take the, the $10 note, you have to look on everything that is on the $10 note. The head that appears on the money, as well as at the back of the money, and the number of animals. How many animals do you see on the $10 note? Ne? As well as the $20 note also. What color is the $20 note? Whose head is on the $20 note? The animal at the back. You know, you have to name for me the animal at the back. Whether it's a zebra, or a kudu, or a chicken, or so on. You have to name for me the animal that is on the back of the notes, as well as the number of the animals. How many animals are there? Is it only one, or are there more than one animal? You have to indicate for me the number there, as well as the $50 note. What color is the $50 note? Whose head is on the $50 note? The animal, the name of the animal. I would like to see the animal's name, as well as the number of the animals on the $50 note. Okay, let's turn to page 12. Now this is grade 3 level. Now here we have to work out the money. First of all, we were in the previous lesson, we were adding only the coins. But since it's a grade 3 level, we are going to be adding notes. The ones that make noise, okay? The first example has been done for you. The $20 note plus another $50 note. What can you do? How can you calculate to come to an accurate answer? You can also do it this way. If you know money, it's also fine. But if you don't, since we have also done our addition already, you can always write the numbers under each other. For example, what is the first number that we have there? It's $20. You write the $20. I will show you how to write it. And then we write the $50. Remember, the dollar sign should always be standing underneath each other. And since we have done the place values, it is very important that each number should stand underneath its correct place value. 0 plus a 0, this means we have cents, we have units here. Now, 0 unit plus another 0 unit will give you a 0. 2 tens plus another 5 tens will give you a 7. The sign of the Namibian dollar just comes down. And so $20 plus $50 will give you at the end of the day a $70. That's also another way of calculating money. All right. So if you are having notes there with you, you can also just add the money by counting on. Okay, let's quickly also do the first one. 10 Namibian dollar plus the 15 Namibian dollar. All right. Although we actually don't have a 15 Namibian dollar as one, it's actually $10 and a $5, which has been added together. You can still continue adding by writing the $10 note on top plus the $15 note. Actually, not the note, but $15 underneath of the 10, and then you can add up the two to give you the amount, the total amount of the money that you have. How about the second one? Second one says $10 plus a $20. You do the same. Write the numbers under each other and you add up, because we want to see the total amount of money that you have. The first one will be 25 Namibian dollar, and the second one will be a 30 Namibian dollar. And so the rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, you have to do it on your own. Remember, money is very important. You need to know how to calculate money. I hope you have enjoyed your previous lesson about money. I would like for you to turn to page 13. grade 2 level about ordering numbers. Now here is a very fun activity. We are just going to play around with the numbers. All right. I will just test your knowledge about how much you know about the numbers. Quickly look on the chalkboard here. We have the number chart here, and I have taken out a few of the numbers here. As you can see, all the numbers are arranged neatly here. Let us quickly count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So what have you been doing here? We have been counting in tens. Okay. And as you can see here, there are only few numbers on the chart here. We have a 6, we have a 12, we have a 24, we have a 33, and we have a 87. Remember, in English, in mathematics, we read the numbers the way they stand, from the first number to the last one. 24, 33, 87. Now, can we play a little bit of a game? Between here's 0, invisible 0 here. Between 0 and a 6, what numbers do we find there? We find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, this was even at the wrong place. And then the 6. So we have 5 numbers before 6. Now, between 6 and a 10, how many numbers do we find there? 3 numbers, which are 7, 8, and 9. Okay, now let's quickly look here. We have a 24 and a 30 here. How many numbers do we find here between 24 and a 30? 5 numbers, and they are 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Between 30 and 40, how many boxes are open here? 6 boxes. So how many numbers do we find there? 6 numbers. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Now here we have 87. It's only 2 boxes for 2 numbers. What 2 numbers do we find here? 88 and 89 and 90. Good. Now let us quickly look on our worksheet. It says fill in the missing numbers before, after, and in between. Now teacher is going to do for you the first one. We have the number which is already been indicated for us in between. It's a number 7. So before we say number 7, which one comes first? Which one do we find before we say 17? 16, very good, awesome. And now after we say 70, there's a number, 17, there's a number that follows. Which one follows after 17? 18, beautiful. Let's also do the next one. 15, we have been given 15, and then the number that follows after 15 is been taken away, and then we have 16. So which means between 15 and 17, what number comes there? Number 16. Very good. So I would like for you to do 1, 2, 3, 4 on your own. And then we move on downwards to grade 3 level. Ooh, now we are having bigger numbers here. We are in the hundreds. All right. So between 108 and 110. What number do we find in the middle? As we are counting 108, and then we say 109. Very good. So we have 109 in the middle of, or in between 108 and 110. Beautiful. Now the other number, we have 218. And there is a number missing before we actually reach 300. What number is missing there? 290. beautiful, Andre. It's 219. So I would like for you to complete for me the rest of the numbers. Fill it in. If you get confused, remember to always use your number chart to complete your numbers. All right, play with the numbers around. And now we have come to the end of our day 2's lesson. Hope you will sanitize your hands always, because it's very, very important to keep all the germs away between your fingers, around your thumbs as well. And now Soshi will come here to say goodbye to you guys. Bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi and I am Peck. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Thank you, Teacher Gureras, for that exciting lesson all about geometry and money, money, money. So now, grade 4 and 5 learners, I hope you are ready, because now we're going over to week 3, lesson 3, math.
Welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Phineas Majon. With me here, I've got my friend Chanel. We're going to be together throughout the lesson. But before we go any further, we are supposed to start by sanitizing our hands. When we are sanitizing our hands, we are supposed to start by spraying inside the palm. After spraying inside the palm, we rub right around all the fingers. When you are done, we are supposed to maintain social distance. I think it's fine now. Today, we are focusing on lesson 3, ordering and comparing numbers. Today's lesson is going to focus on comparing and ordering numbers. We are going to start with comparing numbers. We compare numbers to see which one is big, which one is small, or whether the numbers are of the same size. Basically, when we are comparing numbers, we use signs. These signs are the ones which we use. The first one here is called greater than. The second one is called less than. Then the last one is called equal to. We use greater than when you are starting with a big number, followed by a smaller number. We use less than when you are starting with a smaller number, followed by a bigger number. We use the equal sign when the numbers are of the same size. So basically, we are saying these signs, greater than or less than, they are always pointing at a smaller number. I've got some examples which are here, which you are supposed to put some answers. Michelle, can you help us to come and put answers? Oh, the chalk is there, it's okay. Yeah, take them up. Let us look at the work which she did. Here we are having 175 and we are having 50. We are starting with a bigger number here, then followed by a smaller number. So we are using the first sign, which is greater than. This is correct. Then the second one, we are starting with a smaller number, followed by a bigger number. So we are using the less than sign. Here, these two numbers are equal, of the same size. That is why we use the equal sign. Let us go to page 12. On page 12, we are having examples which are there. Compare the following by the use of greater than, less than, or equal to. Number 1, we are having 2 and 8. We see that 2 is smaller than 8. So we are going to use the less than sign. Then let us go to number 2. We are having 82 and 68. By comparing the two numbers, we see that the first one is bigger than the second one. So we are going to use the bigger than sign. On number 3, we are having 921 and 780. We will see that 921 is bigger than 780. Then on number 4, we are having 7,234 and 7,324. When we are comparing these two numbers, we see that they are also having 7,000. Then the difference is on 200 and 300. So the second one is bigger than the first one. So we use the less than sign, which will be pointing at the smaller number there, which is beginning. Then on number 5, we are having 15,219 and 15,219, which means the two numbers are equal. Let us now go to page 13. There's an activity there. I will only do A, then you do the rest on your own. On A, we are having 25 and 23. We'll see that 25 is bigger than 23. Then you are supposed to do the other work on your own. Now we are focusing on ordering numbers. When you are ordering numbers, we are arranging numbers. So there are two ways of arranging numbers. You can arrange from the smallest to the biggest, and that is called ascending order. Then the other way of arranging numbers is descending order. When you are putting numbers in descending order, you are starting with the biggest to the smallest. Let us look at the numbers which are on the chalkboard. We are having 30, 15, 20, 5, 10, and 25. We are supposed to arrange those numbers in ascending order, meaning to say we are going to start from the smallest to the biggest. Chanel, can you come and arrange these numbers in ascending order? You start from here. Thank you very much. She did it very well. After arranging like this, you are supposed to see whether you managed to put all the numbers. Let's check the 5 is there. The 10 is there. 15 is there. 20 is there. 25 is there. 30 is there. If you look at these numbers, you see that their size is increasing as you go up. If you move from 5 to 10, it means these numbers are going up. That is what we do when you are putting numbers in ascending order. We are supposed to check and see whether their values are going up or are going down. Let us now go to descending. Descending order, we are starting from the biggest to the smallest. We are having the same numbers again, but this time we are starting from the biggest to the smallest. Can you come again and put those numbers in descending order? Start from the biggest to the smallest. Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you so much. Let us come here. You will see that our numbers are decreasing. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. So that is what we do when you are putting numbers in descending order. So you'll be able to see that descending order is the opposite of ascending order. Here we are starting from the biggest to the smallest. Here we are starting from the smallest to the biggest. Let us go to page 13. On page 13, we are supposed to arrange numbers in ascending order. The first example is having 10, 50, 30, 40, and 20. If you look at that example, you will be able to see that the smallest number there is 10. Then from 10, we go to 20. From 20, 30. The following, 40. Then finally, we go to 50. If you go to B, we are having 234, 238, 240, 236, 232. So the smallest number there will be 232, followed by 234, 236, 238, then the last one will be 240. Then on C, the first number is 1,000, second one, 5,000, third one, 3,000, 4,000, and finally, 2,000. Then the smallest number there is 1,000, followed by 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So if you look at the pattern of those numbers, they are all going up. Then the last one is 15,937, 17,213, 16,000, and 89, 18,123. Then the last one, 20,145. So the smallest number there will be 15,987, followed by 16,089. Then we go to 17,213, 18,123. Then the last one will be 20,145. So now we are done with ascending order. Our next examples now are going to focus on descending order. Descending means we are arranging numbers from the biggest to the smallest. Our first example is having 1, 7, 5, 9, 8, and 15. So from there, the biggest number will be 15, the second one, 9, 8, 5, then finally go to 1. Let us go to the next page, which is page 14. On page 14, we are having 560, 599, 450, 345, 489. Now, we want to select the biggest. The biggest number there. The biggest number is supposed to be 599, followed by 560, followed by 489, then we got 450. The last one is 345. Number C, we are also putting it in descending order. We will start with the biggest number, which is 42,763, followed by 27,114, 16,978, then the last one will be 9,627. Then we are having activity 2. On activity 2, we are going to do number 1 together, then you are going to do the rest on your own. On number 1, we are supposed to put the number in ascending order, meaning to say you are supposed to start from the smallest to the biggest. So the smallest number there is 12, followed by 14, then you go to 16, 18, 20. When you are done with activity 2, we are having our memorandum on page 15. That one will help you to come up to check whether your answers are correct or wrong. We have come to the end of our lesson. So now let us sanitize our hands. Just maintain social distance. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi and I am Peck. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Thank you, Teacher Majoni, for teaching us all about ordering, counting, and everything fun. So now, grade 6 and 7s, I hope you are ready because we're going to be watching Week 1, Lesson 1, Math.
Welcome to my zone online school. My name is Mr. Litwai Dumi, and welcome to my class and my friend. We are grade 6 and 7 mathematics, and before we start with our lesson, let us remember to wear mask and sanitize our hands. You spray your hands, wipe it through your hands, in between fingers, let it dry. And let us remember to keep our social distance, stretch out the sides and also in front. Today's lesson is on whole numbers. Okay, let us now go to page 12, where the mathematic notes have started. We start with whole numbers, and then we also need to know the terminologies that we are mostly going to use in this lesson. The first one is the place value, and the definition of that is the position of a number, usually written in words. The value, how much a digit is worth in a number, is usually written in a number form. The value should be written in a number form. Expanded notation, writing values of each digit in a number. Those are the terminologies, so we have to go one by one, breaking them down. Place values. We use the base 10 number system, meaning from 0 to 9. You can see the number which are listed there: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If you look at the first picture, which is indicated there, the diagram, you can see that that is an abacus, whereby at the bottom there are place values starting from the left, from the right to the left. I'll repeat that again. Starting from right to left. We have unit, we have tens, we have hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. And they are also written in capital letters or in abbreviations. But take note of H at thousands, which is written in small letters. That is how you have to write them. You can write them in full, or you can also write them in such way, but make sure it is exactly like that. The circles which are shaded indicate the number per that place or per that position. There is 9 added to 1, which gives 10. It's just an explanation on that abacus, but I will do that on the chalkboard in a few minutes. The second abacus, the explanation which is given there is, when another unit is added, we now have 10 units. This means it cannot fit in the unit column or in the units column. So I have to move into the tens column. We now have one counter in the tens column and none in the units column. Each place value column is 10 times bigger than the previous. Now going back to that diagram, the second one, which is almost the repetition of what is up. 9 added to 1, it gives 10. But the last statement mentioned or states that if you move from the right to the left, as you move from unit to tens, you have to multiply by 10. We'll explain that also on the chalkboard. Now we can move to page 13. The third abacus on our notes, it is explained as, so this number is written in words, would be written as it follows. There is 830164, and that, to write it in words, is 830,164. 830,164. So that is how you write it in words. Numbers are grouped together in groups of 3. They are read that way too. The word 1,000 is read in the space. Now if our third terminology is expanded notation, and if you have to write that number in expanded notation, you take a digit, for example 8 in the place of 100,000, you multiply that with 100,000. You take 3 in the place of 10,000, you multiply with 10,000. 0 in the place of 1,000. So 0, the value of 0 is 0. So even if you multiply 0 times 1,000, you get 0. That's why there's a cross there, for you to make sure and know that we do not write that. We have 1 in a position of 100, you multiply with 100. We have 6 in position of tens, you have to multiply with 10. We have 4 in position of a unit, and the unit in other terms is ones. This has no value, so we cannot write it. We mean the 0. 0 times 1,000, then you get a 0. There is no reason to write that 0. Another example is also written there, which is 3 times 100,000, 1 times 10,000, 9 times 1,000, 4 times 100, 7 times 10, 2 times 1, giving 319,472. Let's try some more example together. We have 34,623. If you have to expand that, you can do it exactly how it's shown on that slide, and then your final answer should be 30,000 plus 4,000 plus 600 plus 20 plus 3. The hundreds are 100 times bigger than the units. The thousands are 1,000 times bigger than the units. Okay, to start with a practical activity here, I would like to explain about the abacus. I prepared one here, which is, I prepared it yesterday. Of course, you can do yours at home. Use whatever material you have and come up with something of that nature for you to understand this much and much better. So if you look at this abacus, I have the straws here, which are there to stand in position of place values. We have got a unit here, and then we have a tens, we have 100, and the list goes. The leads are there to assist us to know how many digits that they weight how many values per place value. So if you look at the first unit, if I ask what digit can be explained there or mentioned there at the unit, you can see that there's 3 at the unit. There is 2 at the tens, so and the list goes. So you can make yours and practice as much as you can for you to understand. So do that and at least show to your teacher what you have done during this learning of e-learning. Thank you. Now we have to move to the chalkboard. Coming to the chalkboard, the number you can see here is 34,623. So this is the number which appeared on that abacus we were just showing now. And if we are to put this number on an abacus which is drawn, remember you can write it this way, that a 3 start always with a unit. You go to the tens, the number that represent a tens, which is a 2. We have a 6, we have a 4, and we have a 3. Now, in that manner, you will be able to understand or know what you can circle per place value. For example, the unit, we have 3, so in that manner you can circle 3, 1, 2, 3. And for tens, we can say is 2. For 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Now, if you look at the place values, are they indicated at the bottom? And the values are represented as per place value. At the unit, we are having 3, and the list goes. Now, that question can come. What is the place value, for example, of 6? The place value for 6, where that 6 is, what position, in simple English we say, what position is 6? So the place value for 6, it will be 100. You can write it as 100, abbreviated, or you can write it as hundreds, like that. The second one, we can also ask what value of that underlined digit. What is the value of 6? The value of 6, we get the value in this manner. You take 6, you multiply with the place value of 6. 6 is in position of 100. Now you have to multiply 6 times 100 to give you 600. So the value of 6 is 600. That is the answer. And if I have to ask the expanded notation, the expanded notation cannot be asked in such a way that of an underlined digit. No. An expanded notation will require all the numbers that we have to use here. All the digits in the number 34,623 in an expanded notation, we get it how? 3 in position of a unit, you multiply with 1. 2 in position of tens, you multiply with 10. 6 in position of 100, we multiply with 100. 4 in position of 1,000, we multiply with 1,000. And 3 in the position of 10,000, we multiply with 10,000. But when you give your answer, it must be done this way. You say equal, an expanded notation of this number. Say, I'll just repeat the number, 34,623. It must give me, just take this out. I need to take this out. It must give me, we use bracket to separate the operations. So we have 3 times 10,000, and then we have to separate that with plus. You understand the reason of this addition later. 4 times 1,000 plus 6 times 100 plus 2 times 10 plus 3 times 1. We have our 34,623. If you multiply these, you get 30,000. If you multiply these, 4 times 1,000, you get 4,000. And this addition is coming there, 4,000. And if you multiply 6 times 100, it will be 600. 2 times 10, it will be 20. And 3 times 1 must give you 3. Now, this is the expanded notation. Another word for notation is called form. Is form. So this is the expanded notation. In simple terms, an expanded notation is to make this number as huge, as large as it is, separated with addition in betweens. Why do we separate with addition? Because if we add all these numbers together, they will give us this number. We can also try it. I'll take the first number, which is 30,000. 30,000. I'll take 4,000. Let us add in a vertical way. It is called standard logarithm. 600. I add 20, and I add 3. I have a line, and I have my addition here. If you add all these numbers, I'll get a 3. If you add all these numbers, I'll get a 2. I'll get a 6. I'll get a 4. And I'll get a 3. If I did not forget that equal. So at the end, this addition is also, you can also say it's between 30,000 plus 4,000 plus 600, and it must give you. So this still come back to that. So this is the expanded notation, and this is a number which is written as a single. Now, to recap the 3 terminologies, we need to understand that the place value, when they ask you for the place value, we either write a word or an abbreviation. Place value of 2, you can say is 10. which is tens. Of 3 is unit. Of 4 is thousand, and it goes. The values is a digit multiplied by its place value in numeric form. If I have H for hundreds, this is the same as 100. This is just written in words or in abbreviation, and that is in numeric. So in some exams, you may be asked and you find they did not use 100 as a word, but they use it as a number, as numeric. So there is no difference. That is just the same thing. That is the value. You take a digit, you multiply with the place value, and then you get your value. Expanded notation, you take a number, and then you make it large in such a way that we have addition in the middle. Addition in the middle. That will also prove to you that you can still come back to the same number. You can also try this number here. First of all, we have 2, 4, 3. 2, 4, 3. You need to know how to write this in words. I don't know what it is. You can try it in a minute. We have 1, 3 here. You can also try it to write it in words. And we have 9. You need to know also how to write 9. That is just for you to know how to write the numbers in words. Now, you can also test yourself. Place values. What is the place value of 2 in this number? What is the place value of 4 in this number? What is the place value of 3 in this number? Yet you continue the values. What is the value of 2 in this number? What is the value of 4? And what is the value of 3? And you need to expand. How do you expand this number? So you can try that at home, and it will help you, of course, to know and understand these 3 concepts much better. Okay, let us now do the activity 1 on page 13. So we start with number 1. You need to draw a solid line to match the numbers with the words. So what you have to do is you have to read the words and then look at the digits or the numbers to see which one correspond with that statement. So you start with the word, you read it, and you check at the numbers and see which one is corresponding. You just draw a line to connect or to match the two. I hope that is very easy. So you can try that one. And then we proceed to page 14, where number 2 is there. So there are abacus which are drawn. So what you have to do is you must color in the circles to make the following numbers. The numbers are written at the bottom of each abacus. All you have to do is just to color. Number 3, write the following in numerals. Here numbers are not written. All you have to do is you can write them down below the place values, and then you have to write them nicely on the line. You can use a pencil first and then write them on the line nicely with a pen. You have to look at the unit, how many shaded circles are there. Then you have to write your digit as a unit. You go to the tenth and so on and so on. I think that's also easy. Number 4, you need to fill in the place value chart. The first one has been done for you. If you look at the first one, is 829. 9 will be in the place of units, 2 will be in the place of tens, and 8 in place of hundreds. So you can do the rest in that table. It is easy. Remember to start at the unit. Remember to start from right to left. Number 5, fill in the numbers in the spaces. So this is now expanded notation. What we are testing here is expanded notation. There are spaces where I left for you to fill in. If you have to expand 2962, so you have to start with 2000 plus I don't know what is that. You have to put it yourself, and then plus 2. So you can also do that. I think it's very easy to do. Number 6 is for you to give the place value of the underlined digit, the digit which is underlined. A to C, you can see in A, 2 is underlined. B, we have 6, and C, we have 2. So remember, put your place values with a pencil for you to know exactly which place is 2, 6, and 2. You can also do that, it's very easy. And the extended work is for you to practice more and more. And if we go to number 7, we say 4 says 2684 written in expanded notation is 2000 plus 600 plus 84. Is it correct? Here I only need yes or no. Yes or no. Number 8, look at this number, 395. Why can't we expand it as 3 plus 9 plus 5? Why are we not expanding it in that way? Could you please give me a reason? So you have to explain. If the space is small, write and continue below the line, and make sure you first have to think and go through your work and see where is the wrong. So where you find here is supposed to be like this, then that is what you have to give as a reason. The last one, what is the point of 0 in the middle of this number, 9024? It has no value, so why don't we leave it out? Why don't we leave it out? So you have to give a reason there. So number 8 and 9, you have to reason. So yet you have to go through what I have said and you pick up the reason. Why are we not leaving it out? So that is the activity. I hope and wish you will do it right. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. I hope you have learned so much in this lesson. Keep safe. Remember to sanitize all the time and keep safe. Enjoy and goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Joshi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye!
Teacher Dumi, that was such a fantastic lesson. We want more. And you have asked, and we are listening. So now it's again grade 6 and 7, week 2, lesson 2, math.
Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Mr. Litwai Dumi, and I'm joined by Pomwene. Welcome, Pomwene. We are grade 6 and 7 mathematics, and before we start with our lesson, let us remember to put on our mask, sanitize our hands, make sure all the parts of your hands are sanitized. Keep the social distance, and our lesson for today, it will be whole numbers. So we are now on page 13. Let us go to page 13. So we'll start with the whole numbers, whereby the objectives of that lesson will be ordering, comparing, and rounding of numbers. So we'll start with ordering numbers. We can arrange numbers in either ascending order from smallest to largest, or in descending order, which is from the largest to the smallest. In short, ascending order means going up or rising. Descending order means going down. Then we move to comparing, the notes for comparing. We have to apply the signs that determines whether which number is bigger than the other. So those signs are the one we have to use to compare the numbers. So on that note under comparing numbers, at the end, there is to compare numbers. Maybe we can just correct that one. Looking in the box, what is written there, the sign which is opening to the right, it means less than. The one which is opening to the left, it is greater than. And the equal to is already known by most of you learners. Then there's an example below, which we need to use the signs to compare the statement. There is an example which is given there, which is 46,023 compared to 46,200. So the sign which is used there is smaller than. Moving to page 14. Rounding of numbers. There is a number line which is drawn there for you for work to be much easier when it comes to rounding numbers. The notes. On this number line, there are 2 hundreds indicated, namely, there is a 300, there is a 400, In the middle, there is 350. There is also a C, and there is X. If you look at the 200s which are given there below is 300 and 400. X is marked at 365, and which 100 is near or closest to this number. So it's a matter of choosing, and it will be 400. So 365 rounded off to the nearest 100 will be 400. And when we look at C, C will be 328. And the same question goes, which 100 is closest to this number? And we'll say the answer will be 300. So in that manner, 328 rounded off to the nearest 100 will be 300. Let us use a shorter method because we cannot always be drawing number lines. So there is a chart or a diagram here which indicates the place values and the numbers. We need to make a little of correction there. At 0, 5, and at 3, meaning at 100,000, 10,000, and 1,000. So the capital letter H, the last one on your right, it must be a small letter. At 100,000, at 10,000, and also at 1,000. So you can just make that correction. Then the notes which are below. First, there are two types of numbers. Those numbers that can score between 5 and 9, and those numbers that cannot score between 0 and 4. Round off 6,053,951 to the nearest 1,000. I will repeat that one again. Round off 6,053,951 to the nearest 1,000. Number 1, you need to place the bucket on top of the 1,000. The number on your right-hand side of the bucket will determine if you can score. If it can score, you add the 1 to the 1,000. If it cannot score, then the number in the 1,000 remain the same. In this case, my answer will be 6,500,000. I will repeat that again. 6,054,000. To make this much easier, let us go to the chalkboard so that I can explain these notes much better. As I said, we have to cover 3 objectives, whereby there is ordering numbers, comparing numbers, and rounding of numbers. So when it comes to ordering numbers, we have to put these numbers in order, maybe from the smallest to the biggest. Let me just give 4 numbers here. I'll start with 11110. Maybe compare that to 10,111, and then I'll have another one which is 11011. So I'm having 3 numbers. The first one is 11,110. The second one will be 10,111. And the third one is 11,011. So to put these numbers in order, you need to know which number is the smallest and then which number is the largest. Let's say we are putting them in ascending order. Ascending order. If I have to arrange this number in ascending order, I must first start with the smallest number and I must end with the biggest number. So, look at the three numbers. Which number could you consider to be the smallest number? Here I'm having 11,000, I have 10,000, I have 11,000. So in that manner, I already know that this number, 10,000, is smaller than 11,000 and 11,000. So in that manner, I will start with 10,111. The next one, we have two numbers. This one is gone. We have two numbers that we have to compare also. We have 11,110. We have 11,011. So in that way, there is 100 here, 100, which is a 1, 100, which is a 1, and at the place of 100 here, there is a 0. That way, we know that this number will be the smallest. So I'll write that one first. And the last number, which is the biggest, will be 11,110. So in this manner, you can see that this is the smallest number, followed by that, and the last number, which is the biggest, stays there. So this is ascending order. And if you want to take that back to descending order, you start with the biggest number, which is 11,110, followed by 11,011, and the last one will be 10,111. So ascending order, descending order, small to big, and here is big to small. So that is the part of ordering numbers. I hope you can do the activity in the book which requires you to arrange, and I will end for the first objective with these examples. So continuing with comparing numbers, when you compare numbers, there must be two numbers. For example, I have two numbers here, 46,023 compared to 46,200. Now, if you look at this number, it's a matter of finding out which number is bigger than the other. And we are given three signs to make use of. There is one which is called smaller than or less than, greater than, and equal to. And let's imagine many teachers are using the example of a crocodile, and it have to open to a number which is bigger. Let's say a crocodile, if there are two people, it will always eat what is big because it wants to eat what is bigger than the other. So let's say this is a crocodile, the mouth of a crocodile, and it's going to eat the number which is bigger. So if you look at these numbers which are here, 46,000, 46,000, and I have end 23, but here I have 200, meaning this is bigger than this. So the crocodile here will obviously go and eat the number which is big. So in short, comparing numbers, we use the relationship signs smaller than, greater than, and equal to compare numbers, to see which number is bigger than the other. So, in most cases, some numbers are confusing. They may come in this manner. You might have 1, 1, 1, 0, and then you have 1, 1, 0, 1. How many digits do you have here? I have 4. How many digits you have here? You have 4. And then to compare, if you look at this, is unit, 10, 100, and 1,000. Unit, 10, 100, and 1,000. Let us start comparing, starting with the first digit here, 1,000. You have 1, you have 1. Fine. There is no any difference. We go to the hundreds. We have 1 and we have 1. Still the same. There is no difference. We come to the tens. The tens, you have 1. Here you have 0. 1 and 0, 1 is bigger than 0. So in that manner, you can already tell that the crocodile will go for what is big. So that is to do with comparing numbers. Now we need to move to rounding of numbers. Rounding of numbers may require few certain things that you need to do as a person. And you need to remember these examples or points that I'm going to explain to you so that you will be a good learner when it comes to rounding of numbers. You'll be given a number, for example, 46,023. And remember in the previous presentation, I was talking about place values. The last number is always a unit, a 10, 100, 1,000, and a 10, capital T, a 10,000. If you look at these numbers, the question can come, round off the number to the nearest 10. Round off the number which you are given to the nearest 10. Remember, this 10 can be also ST. If I have tens, and that is the same thing. So the number we are rounding off will be 2, which is in position of tens. Now, you need to understand one thing. If you are rounding off 2, there is a number that you need to look at. The number you need to look at is the next number to your right. I'll put LA. Number you need to look at, which is the next number on your right. That number, when you look at it, you need to understand this. Ask yourself a question. Can 3 change 2? In the notes, we talk about scores. It's the same thing. If a number can score or if it cannot score. But in this manner, I'll use the word if it can change. Numbers which can score, they said from 0 to 4, they cannot score. From 5 to 9, those numbers can score. Now you are looking at the number you are looking at, if it falls in this category A, it will not change the number you are rounding off. But if it's falling in this category B, then it can change the number you are rounding off. Now let's go back to the number. You have 46,023. We are rounding off 2. The number we need to look at is 3. We ask ourselves a question. Can 3 change 2? Yes or no? If 3 falls under this category, it cannot change 2. If 3 falls in this category, it will change 2. By how? By adding 1 to 2. But if it cannot change 2, 2 will remain the same. I can see that 3 falls in this category. So 3 cannot change 2. 2 will remain the same. In a place of 3, I put a 0. Numbers that comes before, I write them as they are. And this is your answer. Now, if you look at this sign which I just put here, it's not an equal sign. Remember about the equal sign or the equal to. This is called approximation. This is not an actual answer. It's the same thing as maybe you are at home, you are asked to go buy bread. How much can you go with to the shop? Obviously, you say maybe $20 because you know the bread will be less than that. So it's not the actual price that you are going to pay there. So this is just an estimate. That's why we use approximation. I'll do another example. For you to understand it much, much better. Let us look at this number. I'll put a number here. I'll have 493. Then we have to say, round off this number to the nearest 100. H is 100. We have a unit, we have a 10, we have 100. Now, the number we are rounding off here is 100, it's in position of 100. So that number will be a 4. Remember, there is a number you need to look at, which is 9. Ask yourself a question, can 9 change 4? Yes, 9 can change 4 because 9 is in this category. If 9 is in that category, it will change 4. And by changing 4, we are adding 1 to 4. And our answer will become 500. And that will be your final answer. Remember, approximation is very important. So this example is quite easy, and there can be also another challenging one. For example, we can have 501. And then they say, round off that to the nearest 1,000. Remember, we have a unit, we have a 10, we have 100. But we are asked to round off to the nearest 1,000. There is no a number. When there is no a number, we know that there is also a 0 there. So 0 is nothing, 0 is a placeholder, so there is 0 there. Let's imagine there is 0. All you have to do is, we are rounding this 0. I put it there, of course it wasn't there, and this number looks a bit funny because it's a 0 before another meaningful digit. In this manner, you can see that 5, the number you need to look at is 5. The question is, can 5 change 0? Yes, why? 5 is between 5 and 9. So 5 will change 0. And 0, by changing 0, we are adding 1. 1 added to 0 we of course have a 1. In a place of this, I put a 0, place of that, a 0, place of that, a 0. Our answer is 1,000. So in short, when it comes to rounding off, there is a number you need to look at. There are 2 categories, between 0 and 4 and between 5 and 9. And there is also a change by adding 1 if it falls in this category. And our final answer should be approximation. If you read and master these 4 components, then you never have a problem with rounding off. So I believe you have enjoyed this explanation. Now we need to go back to our worksheet in our book, in our booklet, so that I can go through with you question by question. Okay, we are now going to do the worksheet on page 15, which have to end on page 16. But let us go to page 15 and start with our activity that you need to do at home. I will go through with you, but you have to do this on your own. I will just explain where you need to, where there is a need for change and so on and so on. The first one, number 1, you need to write these numbers in order from the smallest to the largest. And that is also called ascending order. So the numbers are there, A and under A and B, so you have to arrange them. That is arranging. Number 2, you need to write the following numbers in descending order. So you are going to arrange numbers from the biggest to the smallest under A and under B. We go to the third question, which you need to use the signs, the 3 signs, to make the statements true or to prove your answer. So from A until J, you see that one number is written in numeric, the other one is written in words. The best way to compare this number is to make sure you write the number written in word to write it in numeric. For example, under A, it's 23,063. You must write that in numeric so that you can compare that with 210,000. You must write that in numeric to compare it to 210,000. So the column in the middle there, it should be provided or reserved for the sign that you are going to put. Remember, the crocodile must eat what is big. Now we have to move to page 16, whereby number 4 is there. We need to complete the following table by rounding off the numbers. You need to round off these numbers. The first number is 3,788. You must round that number to the nearest 10. Remember that 10 is also D. You have to round off also the same number to the nearest 100. 100 is written in numeric, so you need to also understand that that 100 is also H, capital H. The nearest 1,000 and the nearest 10,000 is the same. And if you look at the first number, which is 3,788, rounded to the nearest 10,000, I have done that example for you. I've done that example for you on the chalkboard. So remember, somewhere you need to put a 0, and then you just round off. Boys and girls, I hope you are going to complete your work. If you do not understand, ask your teacher. If you do not understand, ask your parents to help you. I hope you make sure you get your work in a correct manner. Let us not forget to sanitize our hands. Make sure your hand is sanitized and keep the social distance by stretching. And I thank you and goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Shashi. And Simon says, don't touch your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth unless your hands are super clean. Bye!
I am very excited to introduce something new to our program, so keep sitting on your seats, at the edge of your seats. Keep those hands ready, because now we will be watching some content gathered in the different regions in the country. So this time we will be looking at Miss Asteria Willem. She is a pre-primary school teacher in the Oshikoto region, and she's going to be telling us a bit more about this journey for her and her school.
My name is Asteria Willem, and I am a pre-primary teacher at Natangwe Uwanga Primary School. Natangwe Uwanga is a school in Oshilambo Seket, Oshikoto region. We are very grateful for receiving the booklets from the ministry, and indeed they are helping our learners. They are covering some of the competencies, and some maybe not, because in most cases we had gone further with our schoolwork and with the syllabuses, but we are very grateful. The parents have started collecting their booklets, and they are also happy. Some would tell you that they are not very sure if they will be able to teach or explain the instructions to the kids at home, but they are prompt that they will try their best. We started handing out the booklets today, and most of the parents came to collect. A parent would collect the child's booklet and also register their name to confirm that they have collected the child's booklet. So far, most parents have collected their booklets, and we are eager to wait. And we've told the parents that the booklets should be back at schools by the 21st of this month, May, and we will be marking our learners' work as the parents have explained the work to the learners. So we are eager to see what the parents have done with the learners at home, and we are eager to see whether our learners could still remember the content that we had given them before schools closed, right?
That is a wrap for us for today, but just because I like you guys very much, we still have one more exciting thing waiting for you. So next is an interview with my friend Elizabeth Joseph with one of our superstar teachers. But we will also be sharing some fun facts on our educational program and the booklets that we are running at the moment. So please remember, wash those hands, stay safe, sanitize, and we will be seeing you again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Joseph and I'm so lucky to be having another teacher again to just give us an overview of what they have been doing here at NMH, helping with the book lists and just doing the noble thing. But before we do anything else, we have to always sanitize our hands and make sure that you keep a mask with you at all times. So good morning, ma'am, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining me. So please just introduce yourself to me and the viewers and just tell me what it is that you have been doing here at NMH for the past few days or weeks.
I'm Ms. Amanda Awibes from Eros Primary School, an English teacher. I joined a little late, so I was helping with the main editing of the booklet, which was already compiled. It was great. It was it felt almost a privilege to be able to help as a language teacher with regards to this e-learning. So yeah, we've been busy, and currently we are busy compiling lessons, teaching aids. So I think we are ready to start.
Wow, it always warms my heart to see the teachers be so enthusiastic and very optimistic about education and just being able to provide for the kids that are currently at home.
Yeah.
So tell me, how has that process been for you? Like, has it been hectic? How have you found it?
Yeah, I think getting it off the ground was the most difficult part, I think. But it's exciting, just that we are camera shy.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but then everything else will flow into place once we just start with the process.
Yes. All right, so maybe just one last word of encouragement or advice to your students that might be watching you right now.
Guys, don't despair. Hopefully this will be water under the bridge soon, and we will be back together. But for now, let's just keep safe.
Yes, and do what your teachers tell you to do. Keep it locked here on MyZone's Facebook page to see if your teacher will be on my couch again. And let's take the advice. Let's heed the advice of our teachers. Thank you so much for being loyal to us, and thank you, teacher, for joining me. So keep it locked here on MyZone's Facebook page and make sure that you keep yourself safe. From us here in the studio, it's goodbye.